Thanks for calling Mahogany Books. I can help you.
For Mahogany Books in Southeast Washington, D.C., this is what business unusual looks like. Orders taken by phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Books sanitized before being hand-delivered to customers parked out front. Derek and Ramunda Young quit their full-time jobs years ago to pursue their dream, creating Mahogany Books, a home for readers seeking literature on the African-American experience.
The biggest premise was, how do we make Black books accessible no matter where you live? I'm from Oklahoma, proud to be from Oklahoma, but I didn't have that type of access to Black books.
When they founded Mahogany Books 13 years ago, it was an online bookstore. Nearly 3 years ago, they opened this, their brick-and-mortar business. The Youngs say that it quickly grew to account for 75% of their revenue. Then coronavirus hit.
Everything had stopped and we had to shut our doors. It was a little scary in the very beginning because this was our bread and butter.
African American small business owners have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. Because the Youngs had already built their online business, they didn't have to shut down entirely. But nationwide, from February to April of this year, the number of active African American small business owners dropped 41%, compared to 22% of all active small business owners.
We have to be wise. We still have to look at funding that comes in different areas because now with doors closed, less traffic is coming in our space.
When the federal Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP, passed as part of the CARES Act in late March,
the motion is adopted.
The Youngs applied to the program through their bank.
Before I was able to figure it out, the first allotment of money had already run out. It takes a little bit more for, I think, genuinely small businesses to figure out how to navigate some of these things because that's not necessarily what our wheelhouse is.
The Youngs experienced this like many other African American small businesses trying to take advantage of PPP.
Knowing the history of financial exclusion means that we have a program that was already not going to work to the best advantage of businesses owned by people of color.
Ashley Harrington is a policy expert at the Center for Responsible Lending, a nonprofit consumer advocacy group.
So these programs go through the SBA, the Small Business Administration.
They go through the SBA, but the intermediary is a financial institution.
Has this posed challenges to African American businesses more so than business owners at large?
It absolutely has, right? So anytime we have a program that relies so heavily on traditional financial institutions, we're automatically going to have a problem for businesses owned by people of color, particularly businesses owned by Black people, to get access to the funds because they have a different type of relationship with mainstream financial institutions than other communities. They have typically not been served well by the financial mainstream.
The SBA says it and the Treasury Department value all lenders and are actively engaged in outreach to community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions. CDFIs and MDIs, it says, have traditionally excelled in providing financial assistance to minority communities and underserved populations. The Youngs say that when they launched their business, they didn't rely on the banking system.
We didn't go to banks and get approved for loans. We had to bootstrap it ourselves and pull out of our 401ks that we had when we were working and go to friends.
So when the Youngs didn't hear back about their PPP application, and they still haven't, it's been weeks, they embraced the same entrepreneurial spirit that they had when they first opened their business. They moved in-person author talks to virtual sessions.
One room to have a conversation about where Black America is.
They participated in DC's Curbside Pickup pilot program, and they created book bundles for parents homeschooling. And now, following the killing of George Floyd, the Youngs say there's been a growing demand for their books. They say they've seen a 400% increase in online sales over the previous year. Since closing their store to customers, the Youngs say revenue has dropped only 10%.
Even though online has been rocking and rolling, we don't know how long this new space, this new era is going to be here, right? So even though today it's great, I'm assuming that after a while the online will kind of drop off. And so that's what we're looking at with grants and different funding in that way.
To help bridge the gap and support their 3 part-time employees, they also applied for and were granted an Economic Injury Disaster Loan, or EIDL, through the Small Business Administration. EIDLs of up to $10,000 were designed, the SBA says, to provide economic relief to businesses that are currently experiencing a temporary loss of revenue. They don't have to be repaid.
so we can have it shipped out with the other book, Know Your Value.
They know part of their value to the community is in their curation.
Our logo is our daughter reading a book.
And helping parents pass on their heritage to their children.
Having the online space be there has been the lifesaver for us because people can still shop, people can still get the resources they need at home as they're homeschooling their kids, especially if they're looking at culturally sensitive and culturally aware books and resources. They now have a spot that they can still do that no matter where they live.
Experts say the net effect of Black-owned small businesses facing disproportionate challenges could persist well beyond the COVID pandemic.
So could what we've been discussing today have an impact on the wealth disparity in America?
Absolutely. Important thing to remember is that business ownership had an incredible impact on wealth creation, right? Business owners of color were more likely to have a lot more wealth than people of color who don't own businesses. So business ownership is definitely one way to help people of color build wealth and get on the track to closing the wealth gap. And so when we have a situation like this where they can't get access to a critical lifeline that will help them stay afloat and stay open, they are definitely losing wealth, and that has a ripple effect in their entire community.
The Youngs may be doing better than other minority businesses in their community right now, perhaps because they're able to offer something of intangible value, escape and knowledge at a time of immense hardship.
And so the total is 1802. Thank you for supporting us as well. It means a lot. Yeah.